you know, when sometimes when I go back to the house, I break down. Why? Because some of these people are my idols. The people whom I've treated in this clinic, were my idols, including Tali Oyando, Akina Bambu, Akina, Monica Kiragu, Terian Chebet, his name, Della, so many of them. These were my idols when I was growing up. So me being able to treat them, sometimes I ask myself, is this me? Like, how did it just happen? These were my idols. I would hear them on the radio, I would see them in the television, and I would see them. These are like, they're living a life that is untouchable, unreachable. And then you happen to sit with them one-on-one, and they are now become so vulnerable to you. You say, this is God. It's grace, it's God. So I've treated several celebrities, and what I would say, skills, it is better to be skilled than being knowledgeable.
Hi, and welcome to another amazing episode of Kwanza Show. My name is Akengo Omusale. Today, I am so much privileged and humbled to be bringing you a story from the 16 units dental city in Africa. I'm standing in Lake Basin Dental and Orthodontics Center. So for me to just be here today and to bring you this story is a proof that God answers prayers, and He does it at His own perfect timing. You see, sometime back in 2019, I was feeling very low. And when I was going through a post in Facebook, I got to a post where my guest today had shared a little bit about his story. And when I read his story, it really changed my perspective about life. So today, I am here with you to encourage you to not give up on your dreams based on what my guest will be going to share with us today. Karibu sana. And as I said earlier, today's episode is mainly to encourage you not to give up on your dreams. So without any further ado, I'll give my guest an opportunity to introduce himself and tell you how he's this incredible person who has been able to not only impact smiles, but change a lot of lives. Karibu sana to our show.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
So you'll begin with introduction, your name, and what you do.
Dr. Carson Opiyo from Seme. Seme is in Kisumu County. I'm a dentist by profession with an interest in cosmetic dentistry and orthodontics.
And actually, I know it is so easy for us to see what you've been able to achieve right now. And even before I start asking you this question, allow me to tell you that you're an incredible person, and you're doing an incredible job.
Thank you.
So maybe you can tell us how it was for you, your background and growing up.
I'm the fifth born among 14 siblings. And basically, I would say I grew in poverty, what I would call poverty, because growing up, we lacked basic needs. I remember at one point, my family had to spread us, across other relatives so that we would survive during the 1994 famine. So they couldn't support us, so they decided to, send us to various relatives so that they would be able to survive. So mine was, you are the poor neighbor.
And I know in a part of your story, you went to Chulaimbo High School. Maybe you can share with us a little bit about that.
So I studied that as a student, as a pupil in the lower primary at Langi Primary School, which is in my village. It's a walkable distance from our home. And we used to sit on stones. And I think the first time I saw shoes on my feet was in Form 1, when I was reporting to Form 1. So actually that was bought by a well-wisher. Yeah. And we were seated on stones as we were learning at Langi, and I don't know, maybe by God's grace and hard work, I passed. I got, I think, 375 marks. During that time, that was a lot of marks, and it was given where I'd studied, the village school. We didn't even have books. We didn't have the basic necessities in life. You would just go to school and listen to the teacher and go back home, because even you would not even be able to go back for lunch because it is not there. If you go back home, maybe just to drink water and come back, because there was no food. Yeah. So it was a struggle. And then I passed, and I got a call to Chulaimbo High School, to Maseno. And since we didn't have fees, I couldn't join Maseno. So I ended up joining Chulaimbo High School, of which Chulaimbo High School also, for me to join, I was extended a scholarship by the then principal, Mr. Yola. Yeah. So it was tough. I joined Chulaimbo first year. I was a day scholar. Dad had rented for me a room at a certain homestead. I think we were paying then 800 bob per month. Yeah, and it was a struggle because that 800 then was a lot of money. And yeah, it was a very big struggle. And I worked hard. Yeah, because Dad had agreed with Mr. Yola that he would supply farm produce to the school in exchange for school fees, and he played his part. So in second year, I was lucky. I was the best student for the 2 years, so I got a scholarship to go full boarding. Yeah, so I worked hard still, and I got the first airplane for Chulaimbo.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I think that was their first airplane, and I put them on the newspaper, and I'm ever grateful for Mr. Yola, by the way. Without him, I don't know, maybe I would have gone to the village school and I would not have made it. Because, again, the school where you are dictates a lot. Whether there is, that winning culture, that, the results, that dictates a lot how you end up as a student. Yeah. If there's a winning culture, if there's that competitive culture, you'll make it. Yeah. So maybe not going to Maseno was a blessing in disguise, because it made me to work harder, maybe than if I was in Maseno. Yeah, and still got the same airplane I would have gotten at Maseno. And it helped me because having gotten an airplane at Chulaimbo was placing me in a cluster that would enable me to get any kind of course I want, because it was a district school then. Yeah, so having worked hard, that enabled me to study my favorite course, which was dentistry. Okay, I applied for medicine, and due to influence from my uncle, he advised me to choose dental surgery. So when I reported as a medical student at Moi University. But when we reported, I decided to change to dental surgery, and yeah, so that's how I became a dental surgeon.
So how was your life at campus? Because I know that at one point when you were in campus, you contemplated suicide, but you were able to pick yourself from that position and still move forward.
Life was hard because I remember at one point, I and my roommate had to go and line for food for HIV patients. That is how hard life was, because now Dad had just died, when I was, I think, 4 months into campus. Yeah, Dad died, and
Sorry for that.
since it was my only support that I had contemplated, leaving school and probably going to hustle the street way. But luckily, I survived in school. I talked to the then student affairs representative who connected me with Reverend Katwa, and by the way, I'm so grateful to Reverend Katwa of Moi University. Yeah, he talked to me and he gave me examples of people who have, made it as orphans, who struggled their way up and finally became doctors. So that changed my perspective. Yeah, so I survived.
That is great.
Yeah.
And when you finished school, did you try to do some other different kind of things before you really got?
Well, I was lucky. I was the best student at Moi University by the fourth year. So they happened to be having a, partnership with Indiana University. So I was selected as for electives in Indiana University in the United States, and I think that changed me completely because the kind of dentistry I saw being practiced there was quite different from what I had seen earlier in school and in various clinics that I had visited before. Yeah, so the technology was so up there, the customer care was so up there, and that the entrepreneurship, how to take care of a dental clinic as a business, as a practice, not just as a career, but how to do dentistry as a business. Yeah, so I think that's the major thing that I learned there: entrepreneurship, customer care, and you know, um, involving technology in dentistry, because then they were already having 3D technology. You can imagine in 2013, almost all clinics in Kenya, none had started, employing 3D technology in their dental clinic. So that was the first time I was interacting with that. And, there was no mention at all when we were students at Moi. So that was a game changer for me. And probably it is what has made me whom I am today. Those 8 weeks was worth it. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Dr. Did after this your period in the United States, did you come back and venture into the business immediately, or you got into employment?
No. When I was in the United States, I had an option of remaining there and completing my 2 years of studies so that I can practice in the US, because they don't recognize our education system, and therefore I had to. If I wanted to practice in the US, I would have to, study for 2 more years, do an exam, be admitted for year 3 and year 4 to be allowed to, practice legally in the US. So personally, my entire family's dream was on me. So I could not afford to study more because I knew the people who are following me would not go to school if I don't start working sooner. Yeah. So I had to come back, finished the degree at Moi, did my internship at the Nairobi University of Nairobi Dental School, and got an employment with the current government of Siaya, where I worked for 3 years before I ventured into private practice. Yeah.
So talk to me about the birth of Lake Basin, because it's a very, very great
venture. The birth of Lake Basin. Well, I was at the University of Nairobi. This dream started when I was still in the United States. I visited various dental clinics, the private ones and the public ones, and I could see the dentists there were working as associates. Yeah, they were working as a big unit of dentists that are working together to solve various kinds of dental problems, different specialties. And because dental practice is very expensive to start, it is capital intensive. So you cannot just come out of school and start it immediately. You will need to get capital, get help, get loans and all that. So the easiest way to do it is to partner with colleagues, put your resources together and start. Okay? But I remember during internship, when I came back, I talked to a few colleagues and I explained to them my dream. And we agreed that after the internship, we would team up and start at least a practice. Yeah. But after the internship, everybody whom I call wanted to do their own thing. They were not ready to, everybody you call, they tell you they are committed.
They have an excuse.
Yes, their funds are committed. I'm married. I have family to take care of. I don't have the surplus money. And so I killed that dream at that moment. Yeah. And I was lucky that during the time I was doing internship, I had consolidated some money because, doctors are paid during internship. Yeah. So I had consolidated some money and I started, these online classes in India for orthodontics because that's my area of interest. I studied orthodontics in India, and then when I was able to get free time, I went to India now to study physically and did my exams, and that was it. So I had a shot in orthodontics in India, and then when I got employment in Siaya County, I started doing orthodontics at the Siaya Sub-County Hospital. So I would see patients for free just to, strengthen my skills. Then I realized that there was a huge need of patients having their teeth aligned, and they could not afford. So they end up in the hands of quacks. Okay? So what I did is I decided to treat them for free so that I could monitor my progress and my skills as an individual. Yeah. So I did this in Yala for 3 years. But then most of the clients once people heard that I was doing a great job in Yala, most of the clients who were coming were actually clients who already had braces seen by other dentists, but they were not seeing good progress. So I saw a niche in this whereby people are in need. There was need, but there was nobody to, give a specialized service like, an authentic service, because people are paying, but they're not seeing the change in the alignment of the teeth. So I took it upon myself to sharpen my skills and, one day to start my own practice, orthodontics. Yeah. So and at that time, the good doctors who were there, the people who knew what they were doing, like you can be a doctor, you do a procedure, but you are not competent in it.
Yeah.
But since there was no alternative for patients, you will continue doing it. And probably there will be results or no results. Okay. So the good doctors who are there, who are actually giving patients good outcomes, were very expensive. So I was seeing there was a disconnect. Everybody wants braces, but they can't afford. So what I decided, I'm going to come up with a practice that probably sometimes will be giving free services. And that's why even currently, as big as we are right now, we still offer free services to people who cannot afford.
That is so kind
we
of you.
Still have those online competition for giveaways. When we go live, we normally let patients to vote for other patients. Followers to vote for those who are contesting for their teeth to be either be aligned or if they have their stains to be given veneers and crowns and all that. Yeah. So basically, like Basin was birthed basically to sort this this disconnect that was there, the pricing versus the demand. Yeah, people want the braces, they can't afford. And the doctors were charging as high as 300,000 per job. That is 600,000. Tell me, somebody who can't even get food to eat, where will they get 600,000? It means they're going to sell their only piece of shamba. Yeah. So that was it. People, because they couldn't afford the good doctors, they couldn't afford the qualified doctors, they were going to just any doctor who was providing these services. irrespective of whether they were not even qualified, trained enough in this area to be able to bring out, achieve acceptable outcomes. So that's how we started Lake Basin. Initially, the response was tough, and you are new, you are young, and people believe the elderly doctors more than the young doctors. Yeah, but as they see the results, as you do a few cases and see the results, they start to accept you slowly. Your prices are good, and they are seeing the outcomes are also not that bad. Of course, there is room for improvement and all that. Yeah. So that was it. The first 6 months, we really struggled. But we, by the grace of God, as people were seeing the results, the referral system became strong. And that's how we grew. Yeah.
Doctor, I want to ask you a very vulnerable question.
Okay.
I know this is a very, very big dream that you have been able to accomplish right now. Coming up with a 16-unit dental city in the whole of Africa at your age, if I must say, is something very, very unique and incredible. So have you ever felt like giving up along the way while you were doing this?
Yes, because I think in my life, I've reinvested everything that I've ever made in my life. Yeah? I've survived on loans, and you feel like, like when we had 4 units, I felt like I've made it. Then all of a sudden, the demand is higher than what we've achieved. So you again reinvest all that you don't have money on your hands. Yeah, you're surviving on loans. It is either you are paying the loans or taking more so that you can expand. So at one point, I think when we were starting, you don't see the need of it. Like you don't see the benefit of it. You make the money, yes, but the money is going back to be reinvested in the business because clients keep increasing because of the good work that you are doing. Referrals will be there. You will need to, you will add the staff, you will add the equipment, you will have everything. Like everything you add is a liability. So if the earnings remain the same, you are in trouble. So mostly you will be always reinvesting all that you make. So that has been the biggest challenge. Also, first 6 months of starting Lake Basin was hell because no clients, you want to pay your bills, you're still working with the government.
Nobody still knows you.
Yeah, nobody still knows you. So I felt like I wanted to close. Yeah, but through persistence, it worked. Yeah, it worked.
So I noticed that in your post, you're very intentional on talking about the importance of education and the importance of social network. On education, I really want you to emphasize kwa sababu out there is really tough and bright students are suffering a lot kwa sababu wakimaliza shule, they're like, I was an A student, so what next? What should I do?
Well, I would say being a student is not enough.
Yeah.
Get a skill. When you're going to school, just do something that if all fails, you can do with your own hands. Like in dentistry. If all fails, I have my hands, I can still do a filling, I can still do a root canal. So it's a skill that is in me. You get it? Just get something that you can do with your own hands. Don't do fictitious things like, I don't know, fisheries, forestry. Okay, forestry, you can still plant trees. So that is something that you can do with your own hands. So that is what I would say. If you learn something that is not just in your brain, but your hands can do it. You get it? Even something like teaching, you do it with your own hands. So that's what I'm saying. Anything that you learn, like agriculture, you can do it with your own hands. You get it? Yeah. So you can never fail if you look for a skill that is actually, when all fails, you can do with your own hands. That is it. You will enjoy it. Yeah. Because for me, probably what has kept me going and probably growing bigger and bigger is that this is my passion. I normally tell myself, I was born poor. If all fails, I go back to poverty. What shall I lose? Yeah, what shall I lose? I've seen the worst. What is the worst that can happen? Yeah. So that makes me, just to grow higher and higher and higher. I don't have any fear. can take any risk as long as it is a calculated risk. Yeah.
And the importance of social network?
Yeah, social network is very important because, as you know, yes, I said I was poor. So you might be wondering, where did I have capital to do all this? It's through social, I would call it social intelligence. Yeah, which is, I think, the most important aspect of business. Yeah. It's not how much capital you have. It is not how much ideas you have. It is not how much knowledgeable you have, but how much you align yourself to the right people.
Wow.
Yeah, because you need clients. Okay, you have capital, you have ideas and everything. You need to be able to talk to clients to come to your practice. You need to talk to, even if it is hardware, you need clients. You will wonder why you have a chain of, hardwares across the street, but there's one particular hardware that people frequent more. It's because of the customer care. And that is what I call social intelligence. How you will talk to the client. You may not have that good at that moment, and yet you will be able to source it for the client still at the same price that the client is used to buying it. You don't become greedy. You think of that client tomorrow. You don't think of what you can make today. Think of what you can make tomorrow. So source for the client at the same price. Even if you go at a loss, you still maintain that client. They will still come back when you have that good. So you think long term. You don't think of short term. You don't think short term. So basically, that is it. So social capital is so important that I didn't have any money when I was starting. Yet I happened to have treated someone who was a manager at a cooperative bank, Siaya branch, and I didn't know him. And out of the conversation, because I did a root canal for him, he was in pain, and at that time he came to the government hospital. I didn't, discriminate. I didn't ask him that you look like you can pay. Why don't you go to a private hospital so that it can be done better? I used the resources that were there at the government hospital, which is the Siaya County sub-county hospital, and I did the root canal, and he was impressed. So on his final appointment, that's what he told me. Daktari, I think you are so skilled. I've heard of you, helping patients here in Yala. Do you think of doing your own practice? And I was like, yeah, I think, but where will I get the money? I mean, I need over 4 million. He told me, you can visit me in my office and we can discuss this. And that's how it probably gave me money that was beyond my, credit score at that time. Yeah. So he gave me a loan, which I diligently worked hard, to repay. Yeah. So that's it. That's how important social capital is. Yeah. So if you leverage on it the right way, yeah, just what I would say, just do your job honestly and not expecting, a reward. Just do it. You don't know. At that moment, you don't know what God has in store for you. Do it with all your heart. Yeah. So you don't wait to be supervised. For example, if that day, if I didn't come to the clinic, it's a government hospital. Most doctors don't want to see the government, patients, the public service. They don't go to work. They attend to private patients in private clinics by doing locum. So if that day I didn't go to the clinic, I would have not met the manager. I definitely would have gone to a private clinic if he didn't get a competent dentist at the government hospital. Yeah. So that's how I met my destiny.
That was God aligning everything for you.
Yeah.
So I want to ask on your hacienda of dreams. When I look at it, that is a dream that every soul will really, really want to achieve. And I know when you are how do I call it? When you are initiating, time ulikuwa unafungua the house, you invited the people around your village. And you have very, very many friends let's say outside the country and all that. Why was it so important for you to do this back in your village?
Well, for various reasons. One, if you noticed, if you watched the video during the launch, I invited almost all my teachers from primary school to secondary school, because these are the people who molded me. Without these people, I would not have made it. In primary school, like Mr. King, he identified me and he marked me for going to secondary school, going to a good secondary. That's what he told me. Yeah, he told me, look at your background. You come from a very humble background, and I've seen God has given you a gift in academics. I don't want you to joke with this gift. The only way of you out of this kind of poverty is through education. You don't have any other talent. You just have this education. So you have to work hard. So he had earmarked me for progressing up to higher levels of studies. Yeah. So that helped me because this guy, he came when he was transferred to Langi Primary School. I think all of us were talking in Doluo, so he banned it. And I think that helped us in English because he came when all of us were getting below 50 in English out of 100. By the time we were doing our exams, just merely after 2 years, we were getting 90s out of 100. You get it? So this guy, I think, this guy played a very big role in my life. Yeah, because when you are studying in a village school, problem is that you don't have a mentor, you don't have a model, you don't have an example. You probably the best you can see is that teacher, so you want to be like the teacher. But he was giving us, he was forcing us to read books. At one time, he organized for us, I think, a trip to Kenya Poly, Kisumu Polytechnic, and I don't think before then I had even gone beyond my village. So that was the first time I was going outside the village, and I saw a different, kind of life that other people are living. Yeah. So with time by time, as time goes by, you start to want to live the other side of life.
Yeah.
So that motivates you. You want to be like these are the people whom you've seen at the Polytechnic. Whatever you saw, that is the first thing you've seen from out of your village. You consider it as a good life for sure. Yeah. So you also want to go to the Polytechnic, okay, at that level, because that is what you saw. Yes. So probably that propelled us to work hard. You get it? So yeah, I think that is it. Yeah.
Nathan, allow me to tell you this. There back at the village, there are so many children who are seeing what you've done.
Yeah.
And they want to be.
Yeah, and like probably you. I was forgetting that. Yeah, the main reason why probably even the Hacienda I decided to bring in my village and next to my school is to, as I said, children in the village, they don't have a model. Yeah. What they see are politicians dishing money here and there. And most of those politicians are not educated. So people don't believe that they don't have a figure that, that can probably demonstrate that through education you can actually make it out of poverty. You get it? So I'm sure every child that is studying at Lange, every teacher is reminding them, do you know this was a student here? So right now, actually after I left Chulaimbo, almost everybody in my village is now a graduate of Chulaimbo Secondary School. All of them. Everybody went to Chulaimbo. Yeah, so you see, that is positive influence. Yeah, and that's why I was building the house there so that they can actually see that you don't need to be a politician. You don't need to, what they say that for you to make money, you get into Illuminati, you get some cultic thing. No. If you have proper education, it is possible to make it in life. And, as you do your job diligently, as you identify a problem and you solve the problem, in this case, for me, I identified a niche. There was a problem with teeth alignment because, people are having trouble with people want to smile well. We are in 21st century and cosmetics is a very big issue. Yeah, it's a very big thing. And everybody wants to smile. Everybody, because of the internet, they are seeing how in other parts of the world, people are changing their smile. So they also want to do, but they don't have the finance. So I was bridging that gap. Yeah. So basically that.
That is so good and kind of you.
Yeah.
I know so many dreams will be birthed through what you've been able to achieve. And so, Daktari, as we wind up, I know you've impacted very many smiles.
Yeah.
Very, very many. And I know many celebrities have been in this place.
Sure.
Do you mind mentioning
by the way, I want to mention names because there are so many. But you know, when sometimes when I go back to the house, I break down. Why? Because some of these people are my idols. The people whom I've treated in this clinic, were my idols, including Tali Oyando, Akina Bambu, Akina, Monica Kiragu, Terian Chebet, his name, Della, so many of them. These were my idols when I was growing up. So me being able to treat them, sometimes I ask myself, is this me? Like, how did it just happen? These were my idols. I would hear them on the radio, I would see them in the television, and I would see them. These are like, they're living a life that is untouchable, unreachable. And then you happen to sit with them one-on-one, and they are now become so vulnerable to you. You say, this is God. It's grace, it's God. So I've treated several celebrities, and what I would say, skills, it is better to be skilled than being knowledgeable.
Good.
That is very, very important. So as you go through your education, look for a skill. Don't start a business. Don't start, a hustle that you are not skilled in. Don't rely on somebody else's skill to do a business. If it is hardware that you want to open, know more about those stainless steel, know the suppliers, if it is agriculture that you want to do, you have to know the way they grade the soil, where to get the best seeds, the season where you can plant, probably if it is tomatoes and all that, the kind of diseases that you expect to affect the crop, you get it. Don't just get into a business and rely on somebody else's skills. Like if you want to open a furniture shop, and probably you are a photographer, you've made some money in photography and you want to open a furniture shop, I would advise you not to. Why? Grow your photography. Grow your photography, because that's where people will steal from you if you don't know what is going on. And you will have a very big loss. So that's what I would advise the youth. Yes, you have the capital. Please get the skill first. Do a business that is aligned to your skill. You will never regret. So that even if you don't succeed, you will be contented that this is my passion. I am doing it not because of making money, but because my life goals are aligned to this. That's it. It gives you the contentment.
That is good. And what are the lessons that you've carried along to enable you to reach at this point?
Well, business has so many aspects. One, when you are, there are so many things that I want to talk about. Maybe time may not allow, but the first thing I've learned is that as you grow, you will meet a lot of challenges. The competitors may discredit you because probably you are doing better than them. So they will try to discredit you and put your name in the mud. So that is what we call negative competition. Again, as you grow, you will come to, when you are alone, you are able to supervise everything. Like you are doing everything on your own. So the customer satisfaction is assured. You will not have so much complaint. But as you grow, you cannot be able to see everyone. So you start employing other people. You can not control what they do. You may not be able to supervise everyone, everything. So the customers will start seeing some gaps. And with the birth of social media, it is there. People will complain. So every time you have a negative connotation on your business, they will always associate with you. They don't actually think that you're working alone. They think every negative thing associated with your business is you. So most of them don't know that the business has grown and it is not you who is seeing everyone. So that is, if you don't plan for growth, it can consume you and crush you and depress you, and you will, you will quit. Yeah. So growth is good, but it has a lot of challenges. So you have to be prepared for growth. Yeah. 2, 3, rather, for you to go far, don't look at what you make now. Think of 5 years. Will I still be in business? So there are 2 things that are very, very important. Integrity and honesty. For example, as a doctor, as a dentist, when we used to take insurance, some clients would come and tell me that, sorry, they would want us to, deduct money from their insurance and we share. Yeah, they're not sick, but they're coming to you. They want the money to be deducted so that you can share 50-50. If you are someone who has no integrity, you will do the same.
Yeah.
But it will come to bite you.
Yeah.
You get it? Because it is the same patient who will go and tell the insurance that this is what you are doing. Yeah. Or if you by chance one day differ, they will discredit you. They will ruin your good name. Yeah. So just saying no I know is difficult because you might be tempted because you have bills you want to pay and all that. But just run a business that is very honest and run it with integrity. Then you'll not lack. Yeah, that's it. You'll not lack. There's enough business for everyone. Whichever kind of field you are, you can never. Human wants and needs are insatiable. You can never satisfy them. Yeah. Yeah, you can never satisfy them. So, my take-home message to probably the viewers and anybody else: maintain integrity and honesty in business. And always think of tomorrow. Okay? For example, a client comes. For me, they have a toothache. They don't have a consultation fee at that time, but they want me to help them. I will, waive the consultation fee, and I will do an X-ray for free, and I will extract the tooth. This client may bring you 10 clients because people have. That's why I was talking of social capital. Yeah, this client has relatives. The next day or next time they hear of somebody who has a toothache, they will refer them because they can. Maybe there's a relative who can afford. That is a free referral for you. So think of tomorrow. Have the bigger picture. Don't just have a confined mind that I have to make money here and now. Yeah. So I think that is how somebody should do business. Put the interest of the client at heart. Then you will make the money. The money will come for sure. Yeah.
Harry, this is my last thing to you.
Okay.
I know mom played a very, very big role in you becoming the person that you are today. For sababu she really insisted that you had to go to school no matter the circumstance at home. I want you to talk to her in that camera, no matter the language she will understand.
Erukamano mama. I think that's enough because I can't thank my mom enough. I can't. Yeah. But of course, it was with the help of my dad. May his soul rest in peace. I think that guy really suffered because we walked with him when I was called to high school, and when we were going to look for a chance at Chulaimbo, we woke up at 3 a.m. Yeah, and we were on a bike, and it was very cold. It was very, very chilly morning, and at one point the bicycle became punctured, and we could not proceed, so we had to walk all the way from Lualakadawa to Chulaimbo. That's not a short distance, and so I saw the old man really wanted me to up the education. He didn't want me to end up probably as him. He wanted me to have another different, shot in life, different kind of, have education and be better, probably do better than him. And so with the dedication that my dad had, he had to farm, that he would fulfill his end of bargain by taking the farm produce to school. So my dad played a very, very big role. And, I was shattered when my dad passed at, at, in my first year of university. And I don't know, maybe it was God's plan. If my dad was alive today, probably I would have bought him a helicopter, I swear. Because I loved that guy. He loved me. And unfortunately, God had other plans. Yeah. So mom is the only one who is there to enjoy the fruits. Yeah.
That is good.
Yeah.
Actually, thank you so much for your time. I know
welcome.
It has really, really taken a lot for us even to have this sitting here. And I'm so humbled and I appreciate everything.
Yeah.
Do you mind showing us around?
Yeah, I can show you around.
Okay.
No worries, I can show you around. Yeah, I'm saying, as you can see, when the client come here, they are able to choose which procedure they want to do, so that they don't have to queue at the reception and start asking the receptionist. Yeah, so they just come here. For example, if I'm a client and I've come for teeth whitening, I'll just click there. I take a number, and then there's a pager inside the clinic, inside the unit. So once the assistant, once they are ready to see the client, they will simply dial the pager, and it will show there on the screen. It will call the next patient. So the next patient will be able, he will know whether he's going to the orthodontic clinic, teeth alignment, or he will go to the cosmetic side. So they will be able to just to go. And so this saves time, such that a client will just look at the script, but they will be able to be served as soon as possible, such that a client who has come for review, for example, was seen yesterday, but the tooth is still paining, they should not have to queue with a client who has just come, who is new, who maybe is not in pain, or maybe had been seen, but they are okay. They have just come for probably a quick review. So that client who has pain will be given priority, because we will be able to see from the page how many clients are waiting that have emergencies. Yeah. Okay. So this is the first in Africa. So we were doing it as a pilot, and it has worked. So it has actually reduced our waiting time tremendously. Yeah. The consultation room one. So we've come up with a situation whereby if a doctor wants to see notes, they can see it directly on the computer there. Those computers are touch screen, so it becomes very easy for them to write notes. If we want to take an X-ray, we take it directly on the chair. We take it directly on that computer, so that the doctor doesn't have to move all the way to the X-ray room. So once the X-ray has been taken from the X-ray room, it directly comes there, so that the doctor can view it from there, because there was networking that was done, so that the doctor will be able to do anything from that computer. So they can share notes. This doctor who is here can communicate with the doctor who is on the other side. So this is now the patient to be able to see the procedure live, whatever is being done on their mouth, because they're connected with fiber optic. And also, sometimes probably the patient wants to go to slumberland when he's doing the procedure, so they can listen to music or watch a video there. So we've done it like internationally.
International.
This is consultation room two, having the same thing. Now this is conservative. This is the unit for the filling. As you can see, their computer is a little bit different. So they have different, like if you want to do now an X-ray for a specific tooth, you'll be able to do it from there, because it has a sensor.
Okay.
Compared to, So this is the scanning room. Scanning meaning you can do 3D scanning, a live transformation of a digital image. Like if I want to print your head, I can print it now, I can print your head.
You can print my head.
Yes. Okay. This is the technology that they are using to, they were saying they are trying to, to transplant somebody's head in South Africa. So it's the same technology that is being used. So this 3D scanning, the scanners, I think right now are kept. So it takes the vivid image, not 2D, 3D, or even 4D. It takes it and then converts it into a digital image. So once it is taken from there, these are they design it. This is our design center. We have laptops here. Those right now they are not here. So once they are designed by the what we call CAD/CAM specialist, 3D specialist. Once they have designed them, they can be printed on that machine, the Creo C5 machine. They can be printed there, or they can be milled in any of these other four machines. This one. So if it is A ceramic material, emax, it can be milled there, there, or there. And then if it is zirconia, it is milled there. This one is able to produce full mouth. Like if somebody comes here that does not have teeth at all, by the evening, he can be able to go with the teeth with that technology. Yeah?
Same day?
Same day.
Wow.
You can go with the permanent teeth on the same day. Yeah. So that's whether they are doing all on 4 implants or on 6. Yeah. So same day. Okay. These two machines, once the teeth have been milled, the material has been milled, it has to pass through fire to give it strength. Like you remember when they say gold has to be passed through fire to give it strength. So they will pass the material through fire. If it is zirconia, through this, which is called sintering furnace. If it is emax or other porcelain, they are passed through the glazing furnace. Yeah, this one goes up to 2,000 degrees Celsius. Yeah, the other one goes up to 1,200 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so that is enough temperature to melt a metal. Yeah, so that's basically what we have. Can I show you the X-ray room? Oh, yeah. This is what powers all this thing. Again, this is I think this is the first one in this country. You can see?
The first one?
In this country, yeah.
Wow.
You can see? So instead of having so many compressors, they are placed together. Are you able to see? They are placed together, and therefore with that cylinder, you may think it is something that a rocket that is supposed to be fired to the moon. Yeah, so this is serving this side, yeah? Yeah. So this is called a compressor. Okay, then we have the X-ray room. The X-ray room is here. Again, this is one of the only 7 X-rays that are in Kenya. Yeah, this X-ray can do several things. Yeah, one, it can take a 3D image of your head. It can take a 3D picture of your face. It can take what we call a lateral safe, a CT scan, and OPG. OPG is now the 2D image of your jaw. Okay. Yeah. So that is the function of that. Okay. Yeah. This X-ray costs 10 million Kenyan shillings.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Then we have the VIP room. We have the VIP room, and this is where we do our implants. Yeah. You can see it has a special kind of light, and the seat is also special, very comfortable. You might end up sleeping. So these are a few implants that we've done. Yeah, this is an implant that has been done. It has just been sunk and probably waiting for healing to be able to do the crown on it. Yeah. So this is a VIP room. We see governors here, by the way. We see governors. We see everybody in Kenya. So yeah. Yeah, so that's it. That's the implant room and the VIP room, yeah? Okay. So I can take you now to the orthodontic clinic. Okay, so here. Yeah. So our orthodontic clinic, we have this, which is the pedo clinic. As you can see, this chair is basically made for children. Yeah? So it is children friendly. This is a pedo clinic. Yeah? Yeah. So right on the corner is the number 1 for teeth alignment, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Okay. So this side is for alignment. The other side we agreed is cosmetic dentistry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's it. So by number we have 16 dental units, and I think in terms of facility, we would probably pride as the biggest in Africa.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I hope this episode has really inspired you on the power of believing in your dreams. You can see what Dr. Ken Carson has been able to achieve. It's so much. I am one person who believes in the power of sharing our stories and changing lives through what we share. And thank you so much, my viewer, for also creating time to watch this. I also want to thank my amazing team for taking your time and being here with me. I'll say nawapenda sana. Daktari, thank you so much for your time. I'll have to say that a lot kwa sababu mi mwenyewe najua what we have been through to just have this sitting. Asante sana.
Karibu sana.
Na pia I say thank you to the Almighty God for such a wonderful opportunity to cover this. I really feel humbled. So remember to subscribe to our channel. That is Kwanza Show on YouTube. And also if you have your own story that you're willing to cover, I know stories have the power of changing a lot of lives. Fear not to reach out to us. Our number is 0710 48 75 82. Or you can reach us out through kwanzaimages@gmail.com. Asante sana.